Dear participants, you don't have to rejoin after some time. We will be starting soon. In the meanwhile, I'll share some information with you, dear participants. New prospective authors may kindly note that BIJIT, which is BJIT, being Scopus indexed, published by Springer Nature, accepts only original research papers in computer science and its application domains, but not the review and survey papers. However, keeping in view the 2020 recommendation of undertaking multidisciplinary research, we are happy to announce International Journal of Research in Multidisciplinary Studies, rightly called IJRMS, an official publication of Bharati Vidyapeeth's Institute of Computer Applications and Management, which is published biannually by the Institution of Media Professionals, New Delhi. Interested authors from any domain may submit their papers online at our website of BVICAM in a single column in the template which is available on the website with IEEE citation style. For more details, kindly refer the journal homepage, which is at bvicam/IJRMS. Please note that there is no publication fee. Dear participants, we will be starting soon. But a very good evening, first of all, to all the panelists and the participants who are connected with us. It is our pleasure to connect with you all. I welcome you all for today's session on the topic ChatGPT and We. Our expert for today's session is Mr. Vikas Gandhi, sir, who is already present with us. This is for your information, dear participants, that the recorded video of this session shall be available on our YouTube channel at the earliest by the end of this session. The details of our YouTube channel will be shared on the chat window. Further, I would like to request you that you can access your chat window. Dear participants, whatever device you are connected through for today's webinar, kindly ensure that you all can access the chat window from the same. I repeat that the chat window is an important mechanism through which we all will be communicating during this webinar. So any questions that you will be having, you can write on the chat window. I shall be facilitating the same by asking those questions, but at the end of the session. I also request all the participants that we will be sharing a feedback form link on the chat window for automated generation of the certificate of participation for today's session. Dear participants, kindly ensure that you're connected with us till the last of the session and you own yourself a certificate of participation of this session despite increasing your knowledge. We welcome amongst us Professor M.N. Hoda, Director, Bharati Vidyapeeth's Institute of Computer Applications and Management. Welcome, sir.
Well, good evening to everyone. Good evening, Priyanka and Bhatia Sahab. How are you? You were calling and I was in mid of the program, so I could not pick up your call. And Mr. Vikas, most welcome to this platform of IEEE IET BBICAM weekly evening webinar series.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the invite.
It's our pleasure.
Sir, shall I start?
No,
Okay.
you can keep on posting detail. Webinar will be started at 6 p.m. sharp, right?
All right.
Not now.
All right. So in the
We
meanwhile,
cannot we cannot allow train to leave the source station before time.
Some passenger will be
It is
left
not an
behind.
aircraft that entire boarding has been, so we can even take off before time. It happens in case of aircraft, if boarding is
yes, sir.
completed. So good evening, Mr. Ajay.
Good evening, Professor
I
Huda.
was thinking अजय जी कैसे मिस कर रहा हूँ मैं अजय जी को नहीं देख रहा हूँ
Yeah, I was about to come.
जी को कैसे मिस कर सकते हैं?
और
Hello, Professor.
भाटिया साहब तो is one such a participant who has been attending our webinar since June 2020. Bhatia Saab, our new coordinator for the webinar,
Yeah, that's why
Priyanka
I was
Yadav,
looking for her for
a
email address
very
and ID.
very
I
upright
just
and a bright
requested her
faculty
also
for journalism department.
in the chat box.
Oh, hi,
ये
hi,
पहली
Priyanka.
बार ये पहली बार कोऑर्डिनेट कर रही है इनको लगा कि डायरेक्टर सर ने ज्वाइन कर लिया है तो अब हम शुरू कर लेते हैं ऐसा नहीं है
नहीं
ये
Hi,
हमारा
जल्दी
टाइम है
होती है ना
हमारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स के साथ बातें करने का
हाँ वो बेल
अपनी
सेट
बातों
होती है
को
ना कि
बताने का
काम खत्म करना है अभी.
is a login networking and tea at home or at office like me
Yeah.
yeah,
right
yeah,
so 6 p.m. sharp we will start
yeah. Hi, Vikas.
right
Priyanka ji, I put a message for you. Can you share that?
जी sir.
Professor just brought it, yeah.
So, Professor Huda, you are in very traditional dress there. I saw your picture on the other.
मैं आज काफी ट्रेडिशनल अच्छा पिक्चर देखा आपने IEEE ग्रुप पे आज एथनिक डे था ना अपने बाकी टीचर्स की को नहीं कुछ बताया सब साड़ी पहनकर आज आई थी जो साड़ी नहीं पहनती हैं तो आज एथनिक डे था डाइवर्सिटी ऑफ द रिच कल्चर ऑफ इंडिया वाज टू बी शोकेस टुडे and that too at a platform of IEEE, that too on 40th Foundation Day celebrations. We missed you. 27th, you cannot escape. So 27th, you reserve it.
I have done that today. I saw the agenda.
Last Exicom meeting also, we missed you, Ajay ji.
Yeah. Last minute, I had to drop out. Actually, a lot of
Right.
things going on.
So this time you just reserve. We will not allow you to travel to US or UK or anywhere. So that is again Saturday. Inform them I have commitment with IEEE.
No, absolutely. I blocked my calendar just now.
Yeah,
Today I
please.
saw that agenda.
Yes.
I'll be
तो
there.
आज बिल्कुल ट्रेडिशनल ड्रेस था तो मैंने भी सोचा ठीक है आज मैं कुछ ट्रेडिशनल पहन लेता हूँ
Very nice. Very nice.
गुड
And Professor Bhatia is also very regular. I know.
ओह ग्रेट
Always seen him.
बीच में थोड़ी कभी कभी ये एक दो चार ऐसा कुछ मिस हुआ नहीं तो
नहीं वो लास्ट टाइम ये पासवर्ड का चक्कर आ गया because earlier
हाँ.
there was no password required for panelists, so I will keep on trying it in the happy. You also have the
he
same
keeps
problem.
attending he keeps attending and right from June 2020 imagine
Wow.
That's why I
when
was
I
giving
recall
you
मुझे लगता है कि अब बहुत जल्दी एक महीने की बात है अगले महीने it will be our third anniversary
yeah.
such a sustainable series
Wow.
और आज का टॉपिक तो हमें कहता है कि तीन जो एनिवर्सरी है हमारी ये शायद 3 हफ्ते भी ना लगे पूरा करने में इतने काम को चैट जीपीटी इज अ बिग डिबेट राइट ओके प्रियंका यू मे गो अहेड प्लीज
All right, sir. Thank you,
go
sir.
ahead for welcoming participants promoting what we are doing at
Yes,
6 sharp will be starting
all right, sir. So, good evening again to all the panelists and the participants who are connected with us. It's our pleasure to connect with you all for today's session. The topic for today's session is ChatGPT and We. And our expert for today's session is Vikas Gandhi, sir, who is already amongst us. This is for your information, dear participants, that the recorded video of this session shall be available on our YouTube channel at the earliest by the end of this session. The details of our YouTube channel will be shared on the chat window. Further, I would like to request you that you can access your chat window. Dear participants, whatever device you are accessing through for today's webinar, kindly ensure that you all can access the chat window from the same. I repeat that the chat window is an important mechanism through which we all will be communicating throughout the webinar. So any questions that you will be having, you can write on the chat window. I shall be facilitating the same by asking those questions, but at the end of this session. I also request all the participants that we will be sharing a feedback form link on the chat window for automated generation of the certificate of participation for today's session. Dear participants, kindly ensure that you're connected with us till the last of this session and you own yourself a certificate of participation of this session despite increasing your knowledge. While we are at it, I would like to also tell that new prospective authors may kindly note that BIJIT, which is BJIT, being Scopus indexed, published by Springer Nature, accepts only original research papers in computer science and its application domains, but not the review and survey papers. However, keeping in view the NAP 2020 recommendations of undertaking multidisciplinary research, we are happy to announce International Journal of Research in Multidisciplinary Studies, IJRMS, which is an official publication of Bharati Vidyapeeth's Institute of Computer Applications and Management, which is published biannually by the Institute of Media Professionals, New Delhi. Interested authors from any domain may submit their papers online at the website of bvicam/IJRMS login in single column in the template which is available on the website with IEEE citation style. For more details, kindly refer the journal homepage, which is of bvicam/IJRMS, which will also be shared with you shortly on the chat window. Please note that there is no application fee, in fact. So IJRMS publication as of now is completely free of cost for good quality papers. So in case you are in multidisciplinary research and you have been missing out on publishing your research in BIJIT, so you can access our IJRMS, which is International Journal of Research in Multidisciplinary Studies. It's our official publication of Bharati Vidyapeeth's Institute of Computer Applications and Management, and we publish it biannually. It is published by the Institute of Media Professionals, and you can submit your papers accordingly at the link that we will be sharing on the chat window. Otherwise, you can access the BVICAM website, bvicam/IJRMS, and submit your papers accordingly there as well. Dear participants, to make you remember again, all the participants that we will be sharing a feedback form link on the chat window, which will be for automated generation of the certificate of participation for today's session. Please ensure that you're connected with us till the end of this session and you own yourself a certificate of participation of this session despite increasing your knowledge. Remember, whatever device you're connected through for today's webinar, kindly ensure that you all can access the chat window from all your devices, because chat window is an important mechanism through which we will be communicating about the webinar throughout the webinar on that chat window. You can also post your questions regarding today's webinar, regarding today's session on the chat window, and I will be facilitating those questions, but at the end of the webinar. We will be starting soon.
In fact, dear participants, earlier we used to accept review papers, survey papers also in our international journal, which is named as BJIT, International Journal of Information Technology, which is published by Springer Nature from Singapore. But now, because we have submitted our application to Web of Science for ACI indexing, we have stopped accepting review and survey papers. And second is that journal is primarily for computer science and IT domain. Now, after recommendation of NEP 2020, the multidisciplinary researches are being encouraged. So in view of that, we have started a new journal, that is International Journal of Research in Multidisciplinary Studies, IJRMS, details of which my friend and colleague Priyanka was informing you. So any one of you who have your research paper, your review paper, your survey paper, you are most welcome to submit that and available facility. Like always, even this journal is free of cost and we do not charge any money for publishing paper in this particular journal. That's for your information. I'm posting the link for information of all of you. Second important information is that all videos of this IEEE IET BBICAM weekly evening webinar series are being recorded as part of this session, and full recording is available on our YouTube channel, which is available to all of you at any of the later stage. When you want to refer any of our prior lecture, you can refer that. And that's part of the dissemination of the knowledge program, that at any moment you can go and refer any of the lecture which you need. This this YouTube channel has got close to 3,000 subscribers like you and close to 2 lakhs plus views. So I request all of you to go and subscribe and also go through the videos of your interest. That's a great repository of the sessions which we have conducted since June 2020. Close to 400 videos are there for all of you. The third important announcement which I wanted to give you, that Bharatiya Vidyapeeth Department of Journalism and Mass Communication has started a news channel, that is Bharati News, where not only the political, economic and other international news, rather also the academic news are being covered. And the link of the same is available in your chat window. So those who have an interest, please subscribe, and it is a matter of around 5 to 10 minutes. If you pay attention to our some latest video, it will be a matter of happiness and matter of satisfaction to all of us. So thank you so much. Wish you all the best. Raki, now it is 6:02. Please start. Sorry, Priyanka, please start.
Thanks, sir. A very pleasant evening to all distinguished panelists and participants. Bharati Vidyapeeth's Institute of Computer Applications and Management, in association with Computational Intelligence Society chapter of IEEE Delhi section, Computer Society chapter of IEEE Delhi section, Technology and Engineering Management Society chapter of IEEE Delhi section, System, Man and Cybernetics Society chapter of IEEE Delhi section, Communication Society of IEEE Delhi section, Consultants Network Affinity Group of IEEE Delhi section, Live Member Affinity Group of IEEE Delhi section, Inter-Society Relations Standing Committee of IEEE Delhi section, Industry Relations and Special Interest Group on Humanitarian Technology Standing Committees of IEEE Delhi section, with the associations Computer Society of India, Institute of Information Technology Professionals, Delhi section, and IETE Delhi Center as technical collaborator, welcomes you all to the webinar on ChatGPT and We. It is a moment of pride and honor to announce that we, with united hands, mark special contribution for the monumental occasion that is Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, an initiative to celebrate 75 years of glorious independence, as well as contribute our bit in seeking to find practical global solutions for the benefit of all. The aim of India during its G20 presidency tenure in 2023. This webinar is an initiative to mark both these momentous occasions, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav as well as our G20 presidency. According to Dave Waters, for those who are new to GPT, you can think of it like Wikipedia, but on the exact question that you want to know. This includes math problems, programming, and so much more. OpenAI and ChatGPT, they're now becoming the buzzwords of the day. What ChatGPT has done in a day can probably never be done in as much as a decade. We need to know what is ChatGPT. What do we need to know about ChatGPT? What are its uses, privacy, trustworthiness, etc.? What can ChatGPT exactly do? What ChatGPT cannot do? Its impact on existing jobs and some sample use cases. This session particularly is aimed to discuss all these issues and concerns. I would first take this opportunity to welcome amongst us our distinguished panelists for the day. We are privileged to have amongst us Vikas Gandhi, sir. Welcome, sir, and all the other panelists as well.
Thank you so much.
I would first request Professor M.N. Hoda, sir, Director, Bharati Vidyapeeth's Institute of Computer Applications and Management, and Vice Chairperson, IEEE Delhi section, to address the participants with his inspiring words.
Good evening, everyone. At the outset, let me take this opportunity to welcome my friend and today's valued speaker, Mr. Vikas Gandhi, who, despite his engagement on our request, the request primarily my request was routed to him by my friend Mr. Ajay, and in between we had to reschedule the session also. But the session is on such an apt topic or such an emerging technology that we could not wait for more time, and we finally had to reschedule it at the earliest possible. So, welcome, Mr. Vikas, and I'm grateful to you for having accepted our invitation and spared this valuable time for being with all of us. Thank you so much, Mr. Vikas. I also take this opportunity to welcome all my friends from various professional societies, IEEE, IETE, IST, CSI, and few amongst them are the permanent attendees like Professor H.S. Bhatia from Bangalore, Professor Subramaniam Krishnamurthy from wherever it is. Probably I have not seen any webinar which Professor Subramaniam has missed. Never. He is a former chairperson of IEEE Delhi section since June 2020. And finally, my gratitude and welcome to all my participants from various parts of the country and abroad who keep on waiting for my program, keep on waiting for the link to be given to them. And if I somehow or other get delayed in sending the link, they keep on sending me the WhatsApp. Sir, today's link from your WhatsApp has not so far come. That's the kind of the wait, that is the kind of the expectation which my participants have. So a big salute to all of you who are with me for this purpose of having the evening webinar series right from June 2020. Dear friends, this is a 120th lecture series under this banner of IEEE IET BBICAM weekly evening webinar series. And this 120th lecture series is on such a topic which at this moment, whether is a marketing person, whether he is a teacher, whether someone is a business person, someone is a hardcore developer, or who else not, everyone is talking about it. There are sometimes people are talking about its benefit and advantages which the chat GPT and the kind of the generative AI and other kind of platforms are going to give to us. And many of them are also scared. Even Elon Musk was initially telling when on 30th of November 2022 this was launched ChatGPT. He was thinking that it is a scary technology which has come up. But now everyone is accepting that ChatGPT can do things in days which probably the other technologies and other platforms could not do even in decades. That is the kind of the change which is going to come up. In general, if we say, people say that ChatGPT is primarily for chat generative pre-training transformer and is going to be a natural language processing tool, which is primarily again driven by the generative AI technology, which allows for all of us, for every one of us to behave like a human being. The way I'm talking to you, you will be talking to me exactly in the same way, conversations between the two humans are taking place exactly in the same way the conversation between a human and a chat GPT, a machine, will be taking place. Probably the initial Turing test where from the AI started is now being made a reality. That's a kind of the environment. And it is going to the extent that people have started using it for variety of the task for multiple purposes, like you may start using chat gpt for composing your emails, writing essays on any of the topic, writing letters for any of the purpose, creating your cvs, and what not. Everything is possible. And with this much versatility, we have to see that to which extent its effectiveness, its efficiency is going to be useful, to which extent it can capture our natural intelligence as well, and at the same time, what are its challenges on our day-to-day work. If all routine tasks otherwise also were being automated earlier by simple automated system, now a little complex tasks are also being, little unstructured tasks are also being automated and done by the chat gpt. If this is going to happen, whether we are in having going to have a big challenge before all of us, whether 100 people working in the industry and writing some technical document for some software may not be required to work for an industry, and maybe one chat gpt application can serve that purpose. Whether writing a detailed proposal, maybe a DPR, or maybe any commercial document, or maybe a technical document for my customer. If I give certain input parameter to the chat gpt will create it, and then only one person may be required to just go through it and fine tune it wherever it is required and submit it to the client. And maybe those team of 100 people who were earlier involved to discuss and deliberate. Professor Subramaniam, please mute it. Please mute yourself, Professor Subramaniam. So, whether all these people will be required or not, so what are its positive side, what are its negative side? Who else could have been a better person to deliberate on this topic, for which we have requested now Mr. Vikas Gandhi to discuss with all of us that where we should, in which way the chat GPT are going to benefit to all of us, and what are the challenges which chat GPT is posing before all of us, that we all of us have to be sensitized in advance. And probably still, I believe that I used to say that in today's advanced age of researches, one computer is capable of doing the job of thousand many people put together, and that probably Chat GPT kind of environment has proved it immediately. But still, despite all these advanced researches, even thousand many computers put together is not capable of doing the job of one extraordinary person. The even natural intelligence will be required still for that extraordinary person to be done. So what are those items for which the chat gpt will not be in a position to work, and then finally the people will be, we human being with natural intelligence will be required? That is a great concern, that is a great challenge before all of us. Many organizations, you might be aware that generative ai and related multiple applications have also started coming in. Google has started coming up with other kind of applications. Microsoft is also coming up with other applications. So the people are trying to find this chat gpt as a big challenge for themselves. So they are coming up with all these applications. And with this chat gpt, probably जो पंक्तियां मैंने 3 साल पहले लिखी थी, वो पंक्तियां आज मुझे ऐसा लग रहा कि जल्दी सही साबित होने वाली हैं। और पंक्तियां ये हैं कि ओ टेक्नोलॉजी के मुसाफिर, तुम्हें अभी बहुत दूर जाना है। और टेक्नोलॉजी के मुसाफिर, तुम्हें अभी बहुत दूर जाना है। पत्थरों पे गुलाब खिलाना है और आंधियों में चिराग जलाना है। ये नामुमकिन चीजें मुमकिन होने वाली हैं। किस हद तक मुमकिन होंगी चैट जीपीटी से, और व्हाट नेक्स्ट आफ्टर चैट जीपीटी, that is also the discussion today. So with this note, I take this opportunity to conclude this and welcome my friend Mr. Vikas for this very interesting, very amazing session for all of us, to enlighten us to which extent we should utilize and which extent we should be using it cautious. So we are here to understand it. And dear friends, those who have not registered for forthcoming webinars, do register. Our next webinar is on generative AI in the same sequence. So that let's compare it at which extent generative AI will also going to become a challenge or will become an opportunity. Whether it is a threat or we have to convert it into an opportunity. That is before all of us. So with this note के अगले हफ्ते हम फिर सैटरडे को इसी टॉपिक के सीरीज में जनरेटिव एआई के साथ मिलेंगे। तो इस नोट के साथ कि फूलों की तरह फिर खिलेंगे हम। वो अमिताभ बच्चन अपने हर एपिसोड में कहते थे अगले हफ्ते फिर मिलेंगे। तो मैंने भी ये 2 पंक्तियां लिखी हैं कि फूलों की तरह फिर खिलेंगे हम और अगले सैटरडे एक नए टॉपिक के साथ फिर मिलेंगे हम। थैंक यू सो मच, विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट, गॉड ब्लेस यू ऑल, stay safe, stay healthy, stay vibrant, keep attending our webinars, keep viewing our recordings on YouTube, keep watching Bharti News, keep joining our WhatsApp group so that you can get information in a timely manner, and keep yourself away from any probability of the COVID, because COVID sometime or other never stops and keeps on hitting us, keeps on giving us alarm that I'm coming, have not gone still. Huh? So let's be alert, let's be vigilant. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Over to you, Priyanka, please.
Although sir has already welcomed Gandhi sir, but sir, we would still want to formally welcome you as our expert speaker with an e-bouquet.
So everything is changing. The bouquet is also changing in electronic mode. Huh?
Thank you so much. It's a privilege to be part of your session and
Our privilege.
share our knowledge. Yeah.
Vikas Gandhi sir is into data engineering and analytics practice. He is working on data cloud and AI product journeys for various customers. Vikas sir has a keen sense of integrating AI ML backed components that bring enhanced ROI for the transformed enterprise. Currently working on knowledge management using AI, shared mobility products, Customer 360 on AWS, fraud detection using Spark, etc. Combined with business vision and software architectural skills, he has been actively involved in advising and consulting multiple organizations in Australia, Asia, Europe, Canada, and the United States of America. From tech startups through large enterprises to government, Vikas sir is focused on applying innovation and creating future-facing tech strategies and roadmap that help in turning the business vision into reality. I welcome you to this session, sir, and I would now request you to kindly enlighten the House. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Professor Huda, Professor Bhatia, Ajay sir, Brahmanan sir, and others, and welcome all the panelists. So my session today is ChatGPT and We. So I'll be sharing my screen to get started. I'll be sharing my entire screen because I think there are a number of examples that I want to show as I proceed. Yeah. Just let me know if it is visible. I'll just begin. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, we can see
Yes.
that, Vikas.
Okay. So what I'll be doing is we have divided it into 4-5 sections. I'll be talking about OpenAI, ChatGPT, what it does, different application scenario, ethics, governance, limitations and future of ChatGPT, and question and answers picking up in the last. So I'll begin now. So OpenAI, what is OpenAI? OpenAI is probably a non-profitable company. There are two parts to it, profitable as well as non-profitable. So it's an artificial research laboratory consisting of profit, OpenAI LP, its parent company, the non-profit OpenAI Inc. Now, recently you guys must have heard that even Microsoft has invested around $10 billion into it. So it is bringing across, so ChatGPT is just one of the applications that you are talking about for OpenAI. What is important on ChatGPT is what it took years for other applications to bring a user base. Applications like ChatGPT was able to build it out, 100 million users within 2 months, and that's very significant growth. What exactly it is, as one of our speakers also mentioned, it's basically generative pre-trained transformer model. which means that it's a public chatbot. It's powered by large language models. And what it has done is it has taken all the data that is humanly written, massive data sets, run it on supercomputers, and it has taken till I think it's, I have written it here June, but I checked it again, it is September now. By the end of September, ChatGPT 4 and 3.5 can actually talk, and the language model can, talk about it. After that, it doesn't have knowledge, it needs to be retrained into it. Basic question, what does ChatGPT differ from other AI? AI has been all around. Even if you don't want to acknowledge that almost all our mobiles are AI driven today. So ChatGPT is different because anybody today can sit and non-functional, non-technical folks can use it with ease. There's something called as prompt engineering. You can learn it and you can actually. So now the power of AI is not only in the hands of data scientists and many others, but everybody else also. So they can use it from content generation to almost doing anything that it is capable of, from coding to even developing data science models and analytics. Even if I have done nothing in data science, I can actually take help of ChatGPT and honestly speaking, do it. I'll show it to you. It helps almost everybody on the planet. So the scariest part does come. Is it going to replace us, our jobs, everything else? And what we need to do to keep us and our knowledge abreast, with all the latest updates. So Gartner says that by 2025, 30% of all outbound marketing messages from large organizations will be synthetically generated, which means that bots will be doing that. So that's hardly 2% today. So 2025 is like 2 years from now, right? Not much far. So that is the power that generative AI, ChatGPT, and most of these applications are going to bring across. Why? There is a lot of hype because ChatGPT, there are other language models also available. ChatGPT is not only one of them, but now it's a trailblazer, which means that it is leading most of the competition. The accuracy of it is way higher, stability of it is way higher, and there are, in spite of the problems, people are accepting it. So can ChatGPT used commercially? So I picked up one quote from their own FAQ that outputs may be inaccurate, untruthful, and otherwise misleading at times. ChatGPT is not actually talking to the internet because its knowledge is built around the model, that it has built around 2021. So it has carried all the biasness that were trained into it, all the harmful instructions that were trained into it. In other words, you can't be accurate 100% like this is the accurate information, and you have to 100% rely on it. Now that's where I'm getting started with very brief introduction: what OpenAI is, what ChatGPT is, what makes it different, and can it be used commercially? So moving ahead. So as I explained earlier, Netflix took around 3.5 years, in 1999 to create, to come up to millions of users. Now, Kickstarter, Airbnb, Twitter, Dropbox, Facebook took 10 months. Instagram took 2.5 months, and ChatGPT took only 5
Vikas,
days.
is it possible to expand your slide because it's not, letters are too small.
Oh, okay. I'll just jump over. Is
Yeah,
this also
enlarge
getting
it a
small?
little bit. Yeah.
I'll try my best if I can expand it. If I will lens. Okay. I'll stop being the presentation mode then. I'll do it the other way around. Just give me a second. Yeah. So is this better now?
Though I felt it was better the previous way because.
Okay. I don't have a lens. So, okay.
Okay.
I'll continue this way only. Let me know if I have to focus the other way around. Yeah. So I'll give you a glimpse before I go into language models and a bit more technical stuff. So ChatGPT is basically installed on my own laptop, and so I purchased only a commercial version of it. So this is what I have got on my table. So it's an app basically which I can query, regenerate responses. I can ask for any subject, ask for an email on a particular topic, or even ask it to build a presentation complete for me. So if I ask it to build a presentation on say green technologies with bullet points. So I probably have to stop it. I've written it wrong, but I'll just repeat it again. Uh, so I have done most of these activities. Uh, just 1 second. So just try to do it again. Just 1 second. I've spelled it bullet. I've written it. I've built. Yeah. So by the time it generates it, I can take over to you the output of it. You know how easy at times things are in life. Somehow my PC is running a bit slower. So what I did was whatever output I was able to get from ChatGPT. I have put it in the Word document. And what I probably did from the Word document was that I probably went there and exported it into a presentation mode to generate a complete deck out of it. So I'll just show it to you the deck. So what these small set of technologies help us do it in a day is actually that I have got a complete deck that is generated out of it. So it's taking a bit of time because probably my computer is heating up, but that's fine. But as you can see, that there is a complete deck that is generated out of just by writing a few lines in ChatGPT. Now these tools are testing by Microsoft and they will be available. I didn't have to write down much into it, but I can improvise each one of these topics in detail and write down further, intelligence build on it. Why I have picked up green because probably that is just a small. You can pick up any topic of your choice, build complete deck presentations. It is generative AI, so it will generate things for you. You are free to choose any one of the generative AI or its models that are available out of the box. So I'll try to give few examples. Now, it gave me a bit of, a complete constructive deck, which I have picked it up in small terms in a Word document. And from Word document, I actually exported it with so I can pick up any presentation and I can technically export it. It will prepare the slides and do it. Why I'm giving you a few examples is just to let you know that how easy are these technologies today. What would have taken us days before to make a deck is taking us a few clicks away. That is the power of it. Now, to give you another small example, I have also picked up, more, yeah. So I have picked up applications that have been built on top of generative AI and ChatGPT, just to give you what is the power of it. Now, if I really wanted to wanted to build something on top of it, I can actually I actually gave it one line command. Can you build me? Can you build a better future? Can you tell me the power of generative AI? It generated a complete deck for me. I can actually use it. If you see the beauty of it, it chose almost all the image, generated most of the images. They are not like copied from the internet. I can use it for my own presentations also. I can use it the way I want to do it. Now, content creation suddenly becomes so easy. Think it this way. There were people who were sitting and developing all this content. People were writing articles, people were writing essays, webinars, um, different white papers, blogs. Now, most of these things can be done so easily, especially the content generation and the creation part of it. Now, I can write down anything, and I can probably, ask it to using NLP to any topic of the world. If it is able to do that, it will be able to do. It will be able to, I give it some instruction, generate probably. or say, ChatGPT related job losses. I may have given some spellings wrong, but this is fine. It will take its time and we can jump back to the deck again and then, come back when it is ready. So coming back again, to the original stuff, the problem is that today it's a complete realm of affairs. Microsoft is working on it, Google is working on it. So let's understand at a very high level what we are talking about, and then we'll go inside the topics also. So we are talking here of AI. AI is largely divided. AI is largely artificial intelligence. It's a field of computer science that focuses on creating, machines, intelligent machines capable of performing or even outperforming what a human being can do. Now, artificial narrow intelligence is what you are able to see in Tesla cars, in web searches, smart engine. You go to Amazon, log in, it's able to hyper personalize your stuff. This is all artificial narrow intelligence. AGI is something general intelligence, but anything that a human being can do, ability to solve a problem. Now, we call it ChatGPT is coming closer to AGI from ANI. So from ability to solve a puzzle, exhibit common sense, consciousness. In ASI is the future where we have to be really scared of where AI eventually surpasses the complete, uh, human intelligence itself. There are multiple models. So I will not go into different models, but I'll just cover that today we will be covering probably ChatGPT 3 and maybe something on 4. But there are other models. We have experimented with DALI, with BART. BART is from Google. So there are multiple models that are available. The idea is not to confuse anybody with different type of models. Everything has a purpose. So ChatGPT with every increment is also improving its model. At times, the accuracy of an older model will be very high as compared to a new model. Now, there are different application scenarios that ChatGPT can do. We saw some examples. You can get text generated, blogs generated, content generated. You can have different questions getting answered, text getting compiled, different language translations taking place. It greatly increases so the quality of text is very high. So I'm not a very good English speaker. And if I really want to generate a high quality email, I can ask it to do that. Is it cost effective? Extremely cost effective. My personal version cost me only $20 a month. It's nothing as compared to the benefits that I'm getting out of it, right? So I'll tell you different benefits. It's not just content generation. It's not just ability to perform a good email. It's way more than that. Again, I'll try to break from the deck and probably try to pull out some examples to be more realistic in life. Now think it this way. A company comes to you and really and wants to build out a knowledge base out of PDF documents. It's hundreds of PDF documents, right? Now, here what we are trying to do is this particular sample, it's a small knowledge base. What it can do is we can upload multiple PDF documents to it, and it will take some time, build indexes on it, and later on, a complete chatbot out of nothing is created out of you, right? Now, it's a custom application. It's not, it is using OpenAI services and it is available to you. I have picked up a small PDF that I've got on my laptop and, and give it as a feed. You can pull out any white paper or any research paper of the topic. It's, green technology and its implication file. And I can actually ask it any question that is available in this particular set of documents. So one thing is you are searching the internet, right? In corporate world, corporates are more interested in building their own customer related applications, building their own knowledge bots. Now, this is one of the examples where I'm trying to show you is where you can actually build a knowledge bot. A knowledge bot would create months to create, and this in production would take weeks to create. So I can actually go and query that, can you give me sectors using green technologies? And it can go back to the system, read the documentation and generate an answer out of it. Now, it can be a PPT, it can be a Word, it can be a set of documents, it can be anything. Everything will be converted and it will translate a lot of the answers itself. right? So I have asked number of questions like advantages of green tech and hurdles, and I have double and triple verified the answers are more or less correct as what you can get it. You can even get the percentage and the accuracy that which the model is operating. Even you can choose the type of model that you want. You getting my point? So it's accurate to that level. Now, can it talk to database? You normally require a complete query engine, a programmer to sit and query and do a lot of other stuff, right? Now, can it talk to database? I'll try to pull out something. At times it doesn't work, so forgive me if it doesn't work. But I'll try to pull out something. Yeah, So I'll double click this it. Otherwise, I can I will not spend too much amount of time. But it can query any databases. You have to program it, but you can actually query databases, bring a lot of knowledge to it. So I'll try give it one last shot. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Just one second. I'll try to add it and then reconnect it back again. No, it's not working. So that's fine. So I'll probably proceed with other examples that I've got on my plate. Now, so going again back to ChatGPT and the deck, I think earlier I had shown you one example of the PowerPoint, and I'll just look into that example. So it has generated a complete page out of it, presentation on ChatGPT. It has not corrected the spelling. Otherwise, it can actually generate complete text on the job losses that are related to it. So earlier I had done it on generative AI, I had done it on green technologies. So these are like one-liner solutions. The problem is that these type of tools are available at $5 a month, $6 a month. And it's a very big topic for us because, as what we are doing today, there are only two ways with us. Either we enhance our productivity using these tools, or we probably mentally get prepared to get eliminated from the market completely. That's the level of things that is going to take place. Now, OpenAI in common language application, it can be conversational AI. As I showed you, you can talk to databases, you can talk to multiple databases, you can talk to PDFs, you can talk to any knowledge bases. This is not a rocket science that you can't develop it on your own. You can have any. So you are working on a Salesforce of the world and you want to talk to it. Even if you want to talk to any data or any traditional say metabase which you feel, or a mainframe that you really want to make it more language driven rather than more programmer driven. So a query that or a report that you may want to fetch, you can easily fetch it through these kind of applications. Coding, one part of it, I'll try to show that how it can help you as a coder, as a developer. And then there are a lot of literary topics, essays, logs, blogs, ad content, taglines, generation of content, generation of advertisements, images. So the whole web is today filled up with more blogs, more material, because the blogs can be generated on a fly. It is only a command away. So the point is, today the language model probably is more language driven, but the people who are generating content or the thing are able to deploy it using various other features and other AI models, and then club them together to form one beautiful application. So this is the beauty of complete ChatGPT. Now, so there are other applications also that are there in the industry. NLP-based applications, very easily it is able to understand multiple applications, do text analysis, sentiment analysis, language translation, chatbots. Robotics and autonomous systems will become more enhanced, and they will become more decision driven, because the LLMs are sitting behind it. Healthcare for disease detection, discovery, personalized treatment. Finance will get impacted because fraud detection, risk assessment, portfolio optimization, a lot of these things will take place. Gaming for creating intelligent agents. Now, education will get impacted because there are a lot of tutorials that you can get it automatically. Personalized learning experience. If I am able to personalize and ask very contextual question to it, things do get changed in the market, do get changed for myself. And the problem is that will it replace a lot of tutors who are there sitting, and will it take away the jobs? My personal take is, and if you arm yourself with these technologies, the answer is no, because you get better with it. You become more productive with it. At least it can increase your productivity by 40-50%. People are talking 10x. I would not go that way. I would say at least 50%, 60%, it would enhance your productivity. Business analyst, data analysis, customer insight, predictive modeling jobs, cybersecurity people, everybody will get impacted. People who are even into something like climate change, developing models for predictions, mitigating the impact of climate change will also get impacted. So the point is that it is the applications are hundreds and people are discovering it every day. If I have still to see a company who is not talking about it, is not getting impacted by it. That is the impact on the ground. So as I told you, you can write essays, you can get your complete plans, you can completely answer it an IIT quiz, a JEE quiz also. There is no harm in it. So I showed you a small example on Dix. So probably, we can ask it to write blog on, again, the same topic, job losses due to generative AI. So it will try to generate complete job losses. It'll take another 2 minutes. But if I want, I can actually transform it, move it into a blog. Is it plagiarism because it is picking up knowledge from what somebody else has written? The answer is a bit yes, but there are tools that can wipe out your plagiarism also. So I'm not asking you to do a lot of other things, but it can actually enhance your knowledge because this is the material you would have taken a lot of Google searches to do it. The point is that it has taken some piece out of Google search also, and people like us are ready to pay $20 a month. While Google search is free, I'm still more than happy to use it because it gives me a concise to the point answer. I can repeatedly ask more contextual questions, and it is able to answer them. So it is trying to the double-edged sword of the AI generation, understanding the job displacement, because the problem is that after industrial revolution and even after IT revolution, this AI revolution that is happening in front of our eyes is going to impact us a lot. Will it matter? Can I generate a quiz out of it? Can I generate a lesson plan? I should, if my context is right, if my prompt engineering is right, if I'm able to I ask the right kind of question, the answer is yes. Obviously, if you're able to generate complete quizzes, you can verify your quizzes. Even if it has generated, 80% right and 20% wrong, it has saved you 80% of the effort. So that way, it is important to understand that it is going to matter a lot. More difficult it will be now for you to detect whether even the paper that you have written, or the article that you have written, or the blog that you have written, or the thesis that you have submitted is correct or not. Is unplagiarized and not generated by ChatGPT. Now that's a problem that most of the colleges are facing in US, and they are banning ChatGPT usage within the premises and within the universities and all. So I've already talked about the blog creation, script creation, summarizing text. Anything of interest, it is able to do that with ease, with speed, without any issues. I also give you an example of Copilot. So Copilot is technology that is driven by Microsoft. It is coming in text. What it will be able to do is you write down a single line in your presentation and it will generate a complete text for you. I had done it the other way around. I picked up the text from web chat, driven it to document, and then generated a text out of it. Now with Copilot, I tried to install it, but I think it's still not available. You can write and mail, you can completely write down Excel automation. There are ways in which you can invoke complete, OpenAI text from within Excel and you can automate it. So even if you want to generate synthetic data, for applications, you can actually do that. And then pull them onto for example, I want to generate synthetic data for sales of top food processing companies in India. For that matter, let's forget it. Imagine that they have got the data, so I've removed the word synthetic. So I don't have any real, okay. Very good. So it is not able to generate it. I can guide you how to do that. So I'll ask it to stop it and I'll ask it to generate synthetic data instead. Now, can I write down data science models? Even if I'm not a data scientist, the answer is yes today. Now it has started generating the data as you're able to see it on my screen. The point is very straightforward. I can pull this data straight onto Excel. Now there are APIs available where I can straight away pull it to Excel. Tomorrow with Cockpit Pilot, you will be able to do that automatically. Imagine it's a very, it used to take so much amount of time to do these things. Can you generate formulas? Can you generate pivots? Can you generate everything is available at a natural command. So you can enhance your skills, you can make your decks better, you can, do whatever things you want to do. Now, I'll take you to very programmer-friendly things, We are all a program. I'm a programmer, and we deal a lot with can it enhance skills that we are talking to people. So we try to do. So I'll just give you a very small example. This complete code that you're able to written. So I did it to generate it for this particular thing. So for example, so I'll just wipe this thing out for safe for betterment. Just to give an example. So at times it doesn't function, so forgive me if it does. Generate a random number between 1 and 10. The user asked to guess a number and print a message based upon whether they are right or not, right? So, sorry. So it is automatically generating a complete text for me, and I'm not even writing a single line for it. So it is all commented. I'll have to uncomment it. But what I'm trying to say is, if you're giving it an NLP instruction, if you're able to see it on my screen, everything will be generated because I did the mistake of, not removing the comments. It's giving me everything is commented. So that is the power of generative AI and these language models and all that. Now, this particular toolkit is called as GitHub Copilot Labs. GitHub Copilot. Now, I also purchased it. It cost me only $5, nothing more than that. It actually can generate. I can write down. I try to give multiple problems to it. Very simple problems. Add hello world. It generated. Print hello world backward in Spanish. It did it completely. Print hello world backward. And then I also tested the accuracy of what it was generating to me. Now you can generate a code. For example, for this webinar, I generated a small piece of. So I particularly deal with big data problems. So I try to do a big data problem to it. Write a PySpark code to take input zip file and unzip the file and read the CSV and print the data. This not even one line of code of this is generated by hand. It's all generated by generative AI. It's done by GitHub Copilot. But what I'm trying to say is, it is not so simple problem. It's not a hello world. You can't take that, because you're telling us all hello world problems. It's not hello world. It was taking a zip file, unzipping the file, reading the CSV, and then it is run it. Right? Some logic is there. And Spark is the core engine of big data engine where we work. You can run machine learning models also into it. Now try to understand if these things can be done. If 50% of my task is done by that, how much of time I'm going to save it? Can it name the language, programming language it is able to do? And you can find out, I can pick up a piece of code and convert it to other language of choice. For example, I can pick up this language and ask it to get it to generate into COBOL, CoffeeScript, C#, CSS, Dockerfile, Elixir, BRB, Fortran, Go, Haml. I don't even know half of the language. So I pick up something, at least for God's sake, I know the language, Java. And it is going to generate complete. Yeah, it has generated complete code. If you are able to see this thing, it has generated the complete code in Java. Now, can you imagine how fast it is? How less time it is taking? This is all auto generation, not even one line of code that we are writing it down. So what I'm trying to tell you is going to impact everybody. As programmers, we are going to get impacted. As non-programmers, you're going to get impacted. Can it? So if I give him a piece of code, can it make it better? The answer is also yes, because you can actually pick up a line of code and actually to make it more robust. I'll say that if it tries to do it, that's good. So earlier, so I've already done robustness. It has given it with try and exception. The point is that, it will make the code robust if it is not robust. How we are helping? If you give it a complex query problem, SQL query, can it help us generate a lesser iterative query for us? Yes, it can do it. You have to try 5, 6, 7, 10 times, but at least you're not losing 10 days out of it. 2 hours and your problem is solved. Can you imagine 10 days versus few hours? That's the impact. I'm not a data scientist. Can I ask it to write a data scientist problem? So a common problem can be, optimization problem, write code for optimization, say, of products using data science. It is very layman term. It is not even technical term. At least it will give me something out of it to get started. Then I can go ahead and improvising and do 50 other stuff. I'm just trying to add because it's going to take me 2 minutes to write down code and we can come back to it again. Again, going back to the deck. You can do code generation, you can do error correction, you can do optimization. I have shown you all. Will you require lesser programmers? The answer is yes, to do the same type of job. So you need to be worried if you are into computer science or data science or these kind of jobs. Because there are tools that are coming up which will be able to help you, if not replace you, help you and do your jobs faster. So I think I'll try to cover up ethics and so I'm also winding up. So there are it's AI ethics principles. The principles on which it was built was that it has to be privacy enabled, it has to be secure, it has to be human focused, it has to have inclusiveness, it has to be responsible and resilient. Again, trustworthiness, the pillars on which it will build was transparency, trust, objectivity, and robustness. Now, these are the pillars on which ChatGPT was built up. This is all I have picked up from their websites and from their, FAQs. So, the point is that it is reliable. The privacy policy states very clearly that this data can be shared with if I'm using ChatGPT, my data actually can be shared with third-party vendors, law enforcement, affiliates, and other users. In US, it is banned below 13 years. People should not be using it, and there are laws around it. The end terms clearly states that you must be 18 years or older and be able to form a contract with OpenAI using services. This means students under 18 years should not be asked to use sign-ups for this tool. So there are a lot of ifs and buts around it. In India, I'm not able to find laws or rules around it. Generative AI, especially, I think it's still a topic. Maybe I'm not updated that much because that's not my area of focus. Can corporate use it? It is available in Azure as an OpenAI services, and corporates have started using OpenAI because it's available as a SaaS services within Azure cloud services. You can offer it as services to the customer. So one way is you download the server part of it, use it, the API part of it, and give your services. The other part can be that you can actually use it as a PaaS services. It's available. You pay for it, and it's very dirt cheap. The data used to train ChatGPT was collected up to 2021. So obviously, you'll have problems if you're trying to ask questions at a later on stage. So will students use it or will teachers use it? Even my own kid who is only, both the kids, one is college going and one is younger one, both of them use it for different application, of course. So it has a lot of limitations. It has bias, and you can actually figure out if you are going to ask it some questions where you expect it to have biases. So it may give answers that are very relevant to a particular geography, may not be relevant to you because the language model and everything it has trained, it is kind of independent. Overfitting, yeah, AI models are overfitting the data. So the problem is that if you ask a question at times, it may sound very illogical. It may overfit the answer, or it may overdo the answer, or it may even answer it incorrectly. So it's not 100% correct. There are security privacy concerns around it. Then you can have, it doesn't have that human-like understanding, which you may want it to be. I'm able to do that. Good, it is not able to do that. Otherwise, it should have completely replaced what all things we are able to do. Computational resources, then training, it is an expensive exercise. Just for your information, I was reading that it takes 500 liters or something of water to cool it down. All the supercomputers and all need to be cooled down. So it's an expensive exercise. Every query costs you, every query that you fire, takes a lot of energy. So don't only think that it is benefiting you. The computers and all that are taking a lot of energies also to run them properly. Limitations are that, at times you have nonsensical problem. It may budge into your privacy. It may not be sensitive to what you are asking. There may be verbosity, overuse of certain phrases. You may pick up the code and search it on Google, and you will say, "Oh, it is copied from this place." It's true. It's a generative model. It's generating on its own, but it's eventually using the data that is collected over a period of time. This is probably my last slide. Future of OpenAI ChatGPT. So my point is very simple. There is not much of a choice with us. We have to embrace it. Then again, this is a very personal opinion. Instead of getting afraid of jobs, better embrace it. This I have picked up from Statistics. So wherever I have used, charts from some organizations, I have always given them the credits. So it always shows that by January, it was launched in November, December, and by January, almost 900 different organizations in technology, education, business, manufacturing, finance, retail, government, media, internet have already started using it. So either be a part of the race or be just left behind. No organization, small, big, can ignore it. The educational institutions will be the first one both to embrace it as well as to generate value out of it. But having said that, it also means that every sector will embrace it eventually. The applications are unlimited. Now, it will keep on enhancing its models to become more realistic, more accurate. It will at times even become better than human beings. Even I use it several times. If I feel my English is not that good in an email, I probably give it the whole dump of it and tell it what's thoda sa, just correct it for me. Now, ChatGPT is expected to be integrated into various applications, do communication, problem solving. Of course, there are a lot of nuances to it that you have to train to do it. But companies have started in this. Every single company is started in this. So that's the world that we are living in. And yeah, I think I am ready for question answer. I may not, if I'm not able to answer something, probably I'll revert me back on here, but I'll take on the questions.
Yes, sir, I'm here. Thank you for your enlightening deliberation, sir, and thank you for giving us demo all the time. It's so much easier to understand what you're trying to tell through your slides when you actually give a live demonstration. That has been very much appreciated by everyone in the chat window, as I could see. I'm sure this insightful session would have enlightened the participants about the real life applications. Of course, there are some questions, and there are many, in fact. So I would like to ask some questions by participants, which I would take up with your permission, sir.
Sure. Sure, let's
My
start.
first question would be, how do you visualize that ChatGPT is going to alter how we recruit?
So, how do you recruit? I think it's a very difficult question because I'm not able to honestly visualize how it will help you recruit. But I can imagine that if you have to generate JDs and all, or content for your recruitment purposes, it can do it for you very fast. It can also help you. So it's not just ChatGPT. There are other LLMs also available. So if you want to automate your processes, for example, you get CVs. Imagine you are getting your CVs, and you want to really pick up the keyword and understand that, okay, pass the CV and get these 15 things, by your experience, your education qualifications, so for example, if I'm a computer engineer, I'm looking for Spark, I'm looking for Python, I'm looking for 5 or 10 different skills, search within the CV and dump it and predict which out of these CVs, the probability, what is the better CV and who has the most experience. And also over a period of time, you can also get it to predict if you have so much amount of data, even, which CV the probability of hitting or, getting recruited is higher. So that way, if you keep on automating your applications, I can imagine it's not just content generation. It is the processing of your CVs, generation of your JDs, everything can get automated and you can actually oversimplify it. And if you merge it with algorithms, believe me, you can actually automate it. In Nagaro, if you want to ask the whole resource management, it's not the resource management means the allocation of resources to different projects is done partially using AI, but partially not using ChatGPT. We did it way before ChatGPT, but using most of these processes. I hope it answers your question.
Yes, sir. Sir, another question I'd like to ask. Actually, there are a lot of parallel questions, but more or less on the same topic. That can we use ChatGPT for academia? And another question is, can we use ChatGPT for research work? So probably the researchers in the academic field are trying to ask this question, I'm assuming. So if you'd like to answer that way.
I think I'll give this question to Professor Huda. I think he's more qualified to answer this than me.
Definitely.
Up to you.
I'm very sorry. Priyanka, will you repeat the question?
So the question is that how can ChatGPT be used for research work? And another question was how can ChatGPT be used in the academic community?
Right. In fact, I will advise people that extensively do not use ChatGPT at this moment for your research, particularly if you are going to publish a paper or going to write your thesis. Last around 3 months ago, I received, we had a meeting with a Springer Nature that now ChatGPT, through ChatGPT, people are generating papers, and that many of the publishers are considering them as a virtual author. So should we didn't allow that at this moment we are not allowing ChatGPT to become a virtual author. My suggestion to all of you will be that most of the time, if the similar parameters are given, the kind of the research outcome which you are going to get will remain same through ChatGPT. Whereas in particular, when you are doing on your own, the outcome will be different in one or other way. So if you are using, people will lose confidence in your work, and you may become a kind of blacklisted authors. For the information of the people, I wanted to share that all big publishers like IEEE, like Springer, like Wiley, they have got a concept of blacklisting authors. So at this moment, let's not do that. But yes, while doing a review of literature, while exploring related material, you may always take help of ChatGPT, analyze them, and then based on that, you may generate your own document. Last month, we were at Imphal, the capital of Manipur, and we wanted to meet the chief minister. And then there was a letter to be drafted, and then we were talking on ChatGPT. So what we did that we asked ChatGPT that this is the subject on which we wanted to meet. Let's draft a letter for presenting it to the honorable chief minister. It drafted a letter, but we took a soft copy of the letter. We two professors sat on that, and we thought that yes, it has given enough input. Now let's take this input and redraft the letter. So we redrafted it. That you can do. But if you are 100% dependent on ChatGPT, this is again an AI tool, is not a NI tool. Natural intelligence का tool नहीं है. आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का टूल है। जो आपके एक्सपर्ट्स होंगे, जो आपके रिसर्च पेपर को इवैल्यूएट करेंगे, वो नेचुरल इंटेलिजेंस से इवैल्यूएट करेंगे। तो फिर वहां आपको मुश्किल और तकलीफ होने लगेगी। सो लेट्स नॉट यूज इट। थैंक यू सो मच। ओवर टू यू प्रियंका प्लीज।
So there is one more question, Gandhi sir. It's ChatGPT usually omits the figures and diagrams that we make. So is there any strategy to get the same in ChatGPT?
Sorry, I couldn't understand the question. So what is the question? That can
So
you?
the question is that ChatGPT usually omits the figures and diagrams. Is there any strategy to get the same in ChatGPT search?
Actually, I don't think so it is able to generate, but there are different language models that you can use. For example, you can generate images out of it, the way I showed you. So what is happening in the industry is, so let's understand it, OpenAI is in equilibrium now. It has an API available. People are able to develop software on it, right? ChatGPT is a personalized tool given to you, to me, to everybody. Now, people have developed software wherein you can generate complete images out of it, complete content, bind to those content, and do whatever you want to do. So they are maybe using those language models which are sitting behind the scenes, but the UI and the content that they will generate for you will be of very high degree, very high, what can you call it, very high ability and very quality content that you can use it wherever you want. Now, is that viable in the industry and as people using it? Again, as Professor Huda very clearly mentioned, even we are afraid of plagiarism a lot. We strongly discourage because if people start copying things, the problem with this is what will happen to originality, number one, and there will be a lot of legal complication behind the scene in code generation and many other activities. But yes, to cut short your answer, I believe it is very much possible, even if to the quality that you may not expect. But slowly, with every passing day, I think things are getting renewed. More LLMs are coming there. There are different models that are there. If you read and go through models, there are image models also coming up. There will be models now for doing mathematical calculations only. So things generative AI will barge into spaces where we have not seen before and giving us information, not just content, not just images, but lot many other things also. So yeah, I went a bit astray in this question, but just to give you a broader idea what is happening.
All right, sir. So there's one more question. It's more of a curiosity, actually. Someone has asked that when Google had come years ago, it was perceived in a manner like ChatGPT. Like people must have criticized it or they would have discussed its pros and cons like we're doing it today. With this perspective, can we consider that ChatGPT will also make it way ahead?
I think Google is also fighting it back. So first of all, let me answer. When Google came, there was not much of a competition. So I was in college. I distinctly remember when Google search was launched, right? When Java came in, it was my second year in college. So now, going to those time back, I still remember Google was a sensation, and even Linux was a sensation because it got launched during those years only. But these were things like you were living in a Windows era. Forget about the sophistication of today. We were working on DOS in Unix, and the third was Windows 3.5. Maximum it was Windows 95. And suddenly you had Google search that was able to answer the whole internet. So things were getting invented. And whatever competition was left out was just wiped out in days altogether. Now you're living in a very different era, right? It got launched yesterday, I think 1 or 2 days back. Google I/O was there, and they launched multiple AI products. But if you compare them, they're equally comparable, and they can bring the same amount of research and things back to you. Will it replace? The answer is no, because Google search does something altogether different, in my opinion, as compared to generative AI, because it generates a lot of content for you. Google searches things for you, which is very important. So both have their own spaces. It may take some amount of search into ChatGPT, which is fine, but it will not do away, because Bard is there and many other competing tools are coming there. It will integrate into Google search and give you way more fantastic content, down the lane. Secondly, I'm paying for ChatGPT. At times, ChatGPT is going down. The free version goes down like hell. Google is stable. You don't pay for it. You use it millions of times, billions of times. It gets revenue from its advertising and lot many other things. So to me, Google is not going away. It will reinvent itself, reincarnate itself, and new stuff will come in.
Sir, talking about Google Bard, someone has asked what are the advantages of Google Bard? If you can just give a brief overview.
So I haven't studied Google Bard in detail, to be honest, and that is why I would avoid going into the details. But it was supposed to be another LLM based upon another LLM model going into deep tech that Google has launched, and working along the same lines as ChatGPT and will replace it. The initial thing Google Bard did fail miserably. Even we are doing research on it, how effective it is as compared to. So when you talk of ChatGPT and you go inside internal, there are a lot of language models that are available. You know, Similarly inside an application like Bard, it will be also there. So when you go inside, then and only then you know what accuracy level it has got, how it is able to respond to your documents. Whether the models are good, bad, have they any biases, can be used into production level situations, what effort time span it requires us to do that. So we haven't done all that research on Google Bard, so I'll prefer not to answer it at this moment of time.
No problem, sir. So, one more question, and it has been asked often by one of the esteemed professors in our session that can ChatGPT generate curriculum for a degree? And the degree precisely is a 4-year curriculum for a BTech electrical engineering program. Can it do it?
Ideally, yes. If it is not able to do it, then go piece by piece, and get it done. That's exactly how I do it. If I think ChatGPT is not able to do, then I give it hint. Okay, can you do something this better for me using this keyword? So this is all called as a part of prompt engineering. You train ChatGPT what you want, and because it remembers, you can ask it over repeatedly based upon the first title A1. Generate more details for me. But then you are generating it over and over again. I would say experiment with Auto GPT. Auto GPT is like an auto generative tools and all that. I haven't done it, so I can't really tell you, but I did it only once, and it was like overwhelming response as compared to ChatGPT, and it was as good as a mini book that it wrote to me in 3 to 4 minutes. So experiment with it. I think it is doable. 100% it is doable. You need to go with auto tools rather than with ChatGPT and keep on experimenting, typing more and more contents.
So it seems like you're guessing what are my upcoming questions like because you're linking your answers to what I will question next. The question is, can he enhance the training program? You talked about the training component. Can we enhance the training component of ChatGPT?
It's not in our hands. I think they only do it. For example, they have trained it till September 2021, and they will not allow you to do it. But I think Dolly and other models that Databricks and other people are bringing, they are allowing you to train conduct your own training, but they come at a price point. They are not cheap. Even we tried to do Dolly and all. It is pretty costly. Free. So one part of it, model is already generated sitting somewhere, and you're just using it. But if you're talking to me, can you generate it your own intelligence? Then it's a costly affair. I think a few $100 million to spend on one trained model, something like that.
And sir, another question, I'm sure a very curious student has asked this thing that when we generate the content from ChatGPT and check it in Turnitin, it reflects 100% plagiarism. What strategies can I apply to avoid plagiarism?
So there are anti-plagiarism tools in the market. Number one, and there are auto tools also now available. Even paid tools are available that can help you. So even if you do Google search, so there are ways, as Professor Datta was saying, if you pick up web ChatGPT content and paste it in some tool, it will tell you even from exact what sites you have picked it up and you have plagiarized the content, right? So ideally you should avoid it, but if you feel like not avoiding it, then it's a repeated exercise of clearing those plagiarized content and checking it in plagiarized tools to figure out it's unplagiarized or not. But again, I would say why do the amount of energy that you're going to spend it to do that, lesser energy will be spent on generating some high quality thing in you take help of GPTs and OpenAI tool, which is fine, but don't end up in writing complete plagiarized things, because it will not help anybody eventually at the end of the day. Especially not you, because there is no brain that you have applied, and it will go rust. What's the point? As a student, I'm just asking, trying to answer.
There is one more little question, and it's probably from someone who's not from the background of technology. So, who owns the content which is generated by ChatGPT?
Who owns the content? So if it is generated for me, it's my, I can save it, use it the way I want it. But if you're talking of LLMs, it is they own it, we don't own anything. Language models, because this is based upon billions and billions of contents that they have already picked it up from internet, the knowledge that they have built it. So they own the content. But if your answer is, if the answer I am getting, they store all the questions, and you can clear all the answers if you want. If the content is generated for me, I can store it the way I want to do it. And, I can link it API, I can call it from within different applications. And in coming days, Copilot will be also there to help me in Word. Just sitting in Word, you don't even need ChatGPT, right? You can generate the content that you want. It will be so easy in coming days.
So I think, sir, there has been an overwhelming response on something like ChatGPT. It is around us all the time nowadays, but a lot of people have questions surrounding it. Therefore, I can see the number of participants who've joined this session because they were so curious about it. And thank you for clearing a lot of doubts. Thank you for such an overwhelming presentation. Everything was nicely explained. I personally felt that from a person who's not from a technology background, I could understand a lot of things around ChatGPT with your slides. So thank you, Gandhi sir. With this, my number of questions for today and this session are ending.
Thank you so much. Thanks for giving this opportunity overall.
So,
Thanks.
who is Manish? Mr. Vikas, we have a certificate and a memento, both in e-mode. So, Manish, can you share the certificate? We have switched everything to e-mode because now
That's excellent.
the E is only sustainable.
Absolutely.
This certificate is not for the purpose of certification, but for the purpose of remembrance that when people were considering this ChatGPT generative AI as a kind of new and evolving discipline, we were not behind. We had this lovely webinar, lovely lecture series, which was attended by over 400 participants, including live participation on YouTube as well as this WebEx room. And we were part of this, deliberating it. And though it is an evolving topic, as a student of computer science and as a teacher who has taught AI for close to around 12, 13 years, I still feel the bottom line should be we should be in a position to control the technology, not we should allow the technology to control all of us. If we do that, probably the purpose of developing the technology will be lost. And then there will be a situation which will be beyond our control. And yes, there are many things which can be done with the help of the ChatGPT. Many things will prove to be done in coming days with the help of the future versions of ChatGPT. But let's use the technology for constructive purposes. Let's not use this technology in a way of being misusing the technology and presenting to someone that as if this is our work or your work or my work. If the day we start doing that we didn't do anything and the chat GPT has generated a paper for me and we brought the paper, sir, my paper is ready. So this implies it's a misuse of the technology. That difference we have to realize that it could be a source of information. It could optimize my required hard work. It could help us to generate more efficiency, but does not mean that I will generate something using ChatGPT and will claim that it is my work. The day you start doing it, probably there will be another counter which will be coming and will be telling you stop using it. So let's not do that. Manish, do you have a memento as well? Bouquet is over, memento. ये चैट जीपीटी को हम बता सकते हैं कि किस टाइम सर्टिफिकेट देना है और कब मेमेंटो देना है. विल नेवर डिले इट. दैट इज द पर्पस ऑफ द टेक्नोलॉजी. Wherever there are repetitive work which can be put into a structured way, maybe an algorithm, even in non-algorithm, but in some structured way, that probably chat gpt can do that, and we can save human resource there, we can save time there, and we can also ignore a kind of the situation in which people may forget it. So that kind of situation we can always avoid using ChatGPT. So thank you so much, Mr. Vikas. It was a wonderful session, and those participants who have still not logged out, for your information, next week we are talking on generative AI, which is again a connected topic, and let's see, is a more open, more generic, how and in which way we can utilize generative AI. And this WebEx meeting room is converted now into a facilitation center where my colleagues, Priyanka, Mr. Manish, Uttam, all of them are here to help you, to facilitate you, to ensure that you get a certificate. At this moment, ChatGPT has not been implemented, so my team will have to ensure that you get certificate, and if there are any queries, any difficulty, the team members will resolve those queries, right? But yes, we have automated the certification process. My team members will not generate any certificate for you. They will not write any certificate for you. It is you who has to fill up the feedback form. If you fill up the feedback form, the data will be picked up from that feedback form, and the certificate will be generated for you, and it should be mailed within no time, within a minute, at your email ID given in the feedback form as an attachment in PDF format. If you have filled up and you could not get the certificate in your email as a PDF attachment, then you can write your name and email ID in the chat window addressed to everyone. My team members will go through your email ID, will check what has happened, whether this certificate has gone to your spam or what. But team members, if you have filled up form, will certainly give you the link of the Google Drive, where from you can always download the certificate. So this is for the facilitation, and next 15 minutes. So maybe around 7:36 minutes past to 7:36. We may be closing this room. So please hurry up if you have not filled up the feedback form. Next 15 minutes we are here. And thank you so much, Mr. Vikas. You are free to take your decision. We have bothered you a lot, and many questions I have seen in the chat window which we could not take because of paucity of the time. And this topic is such that questions will keep on coming. If I run this room for maybe next 2 hours, the questions will keep on coming. But I have given feedback link so that the people should go and take rest. Huh? Thank you so much. We'll meet next Saturday on the same topic, generative AI. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. And thank you, Priyanka. Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
sir.
for
Thank
today.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you to all our distinguished panelists and participants who have continuously supported us throughout all our webinars. And a big thank you to all of you who have joined us today on this auspicious day. The details for the feedback form have already been shared in your chat window. In case you're unable to fill the feedback link, in case you're having any difficulty, you can post your name and email address here, and we shall look into what trouble you're facing. I will again request all the participants that I have shared a feedback link in the chat window, the feedback form link, for automated generation of the certificate of participation for today's session. Dear participants, kindly ensure that you're connected with us till you fill the feedback form link and actually get the certificate. You should own yourself a certificate of participation of this session despite increasing your knowledge. The window will be open for a few more minutes till 7:35 to be precise. So kindly fill the feedback form We'll generate the certificate for you, and once you receive the certificate, you are most welcome to leave the room. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being such an enlightening participant. Thank you for asking questions in this session. I have shared the feedback form link on the chat window for automated generation of the certificate of participation. Dear participants, you're welcome to leave the room once your certificate has been generated and you have received a certificate. Dear participants, a feedback form link has been sent on the chat box for automated generation of the certificate of participation for today's session. Once you have received your certificate, you are welcome to leave the room. Thank you for being a great audience. Kindly fill the form again, Mansi ma'am. The feedback form link will be available for a few more minutes. Kindly fill the form. Please share your name and email ID here and we shall look into the matter. Mansi Sharma. Dear participants, the feedback form link is active for a few more minutes. Requesting all the participants that we have shared the feedback form link on the chat window for automated generation of the certificate of participation for today's session. Once you have received the certificate, you can leave the room. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bhatia sir.
Yeah.
Dear participants, we shall be closing in another 2 minutes. Please fill the feedback form link soon so that your certificate can be generated and you can receive a certificate of participation of this session despite increasing your knowledge. There's still a few participants left in the room. Dear participants, please fill the link, the feedback form link. It's available for another 1 minute. We shall be closing soon. Once you have received the certificate, kindly leave the room.